Welcome to Halifab. Okay, so I promised that I would do some how-to videos, and what better way to start off how-to videos than to do some explanations. What is an ESC? You'll probably hear this term thrown around a lot when it comes to modifying ride-on vehicles, electric ride-on vehicles. It's a speed controller. ESC stands for electric speed controller. You will typically find something like this on an electric bicycle, electric scooter, hoverboard. I mean, the range just kind of goes on. Any type of vehicle that has a need to have a variable throttle or variable speed on it, that would be this. Most Power Wheels are from the factory. They'll have a shifter, and the shifter will route the power to either one or two motors, giving you high or low gear, and also bridge over X bridge the power, so you get a reverse out of it. Typically it only drives one motor in reverse and one motor in low, and then you get both motors in high gear. With a speed controller, typically you'll lose that, but you can still have reverse, and you can still have automatic braking functions as well. So it really kind of boils down to what you want to do as far as power wise. This is a teeny tiny guy. This is only rated for 250 watts. So actually I purchased this as a double. I purchased two of them, and I was going to put them on the Baja Extreme, and that kind of went down the drain when I got the Minimoto motorcycle, which has this little 18-volt deal on it, which I ditched because it's kind of a pain finding 18-volt stuff. Everything else we have here is 24-volt, so I decided to go with 24 volts. So I used one of these, which it only has a 100-watt motor on it. So this 250-watt controller, which is just worked out perfect for it. So we put that on there. Now it charges commonly with the rest of the vehicles around here. The Minimoto is now 24 volt, along with this, the Gator over there, and there's also a pink Jeep, and a red Razor, and a red Grizzly 700 ATV. Those are all 24 volt vehicles, but I wanted to kind of keep everything common between those vehicles. Speed controller is going to have a variable throttle pedal versus the on-off switch, and actually most Power Wheels pedals have three positions. You have off, you have coast, and then you also have drive. And as you let off drive, you have the coast, and then when you let completely off, it engages the brakes, reverses the motors, turns them into generators, and starts slowing it down in a hurry. With the variable throttle, like the speed controllers, you actually have just slow. You creep along real slow, and then you press it more and more and more, and you have a variable throttle. It's kind of nice teaching kids how to modulate throttle and actually use their foot and their brain at the same time, instead of just basically letting go of a trans brake and making a drag launch every time they take off. It really works out well when she's pulling her car in and out of the garage. But this one's got quite a bit of power once it kicks in. This is one of Wes's East Coast power-ups, soft start, 1000-watt modules. Over here we have a stock Razor dirt quad controller on this, but you can still see the same thing. You press the gas a little bit, and you only get a little bit. And it's really nice because you got a kid that's really small and she's wanting to make some tight turns. She can slow down really slow and make a tight turn. Comes out of the turn, and she can matter. Wow, that was a lot. I wasn't expecting that. But it kind of proves my point that you can have the best of both worlds. You can make something fast, and you can also make it a little more reliable in the form of not always stressing your gearboxes out. These gearboxes can't take with so much, and I'm actually in the process of either want to put some heat sinks on these or some fans, more than likely some fans, just so I can keep the gearboxes and the actual motors themselves cool. I can almost guarantee you running 24 volts to these things will eat gearboxes, because it'll heat the plastic up to the point where it's no longer able to hold the oil film between the plastic parts. It's just moving so fast it's not able to pick up or hold any oil film. So it eats the gearboxes. It'll heat the plastic up and kill them. And even if you put metal gears on the first gear, some of the Power Wheel stuff, you still don't end up with a usable gearbox, because everything else behind it's going to start failing if you're just running 24 volts wide open all the time. Put a scooter controller on it, teach your kid how to modulate the throttle, not be in it all the time, and you might have a gearbox that lasts a little bit longer. But that's just my 2 cents on scooter controllers and ESCs. Keep ESCs in mind; they're a good thing. Works out really well on small drivers. You know, if you want to teach them how to move up into a junior dragster and you know, move around the track and actually learn how to drive a real vehicle or ATV. Yeah, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and get them started on something a little bit smaller. So, got any questions? Drop them in the comment section or shoot me a private message.